Voltron is a show that really captivated me. From the big starships to the alien planets and the amazing cast of characters, Voltron Legendary Defender is a show with a lot of imagination and heart. A group of ordinary teens are chosen as paladins to form Voltron and defend the universe from the Galra Empire. It received a lot of praise initially, but seasons 7 and 8 came along and there was a lot of backlash. So much so that it changed people's opinions on the show entirely. Some say there were problems with the show long before that, but I've always found something to love about it, even in the later seasons. I'm not surprised that people didn't like the ending of Voltron, but I'm surprised by how many people just brushed it off. The show wasn't perfect, but there was so much good about it that it had to make up for it at least somewhat. We see this a lot with shows. They grab our attention and hook us with each episode, but then disappoint us in the end. Since the entirety of the show isn't usually plotted out beforehand, showrunners don't know exactly how to wrap everything up to make for a satisfying conclusion. Audiences are often left upset, dissatisfied, or confused. One infamous example was The Sopranos, which ended in a cliffhanger and left many unanswered questions. It might have worked for the ending of a movie, but with how long people spend on a TV show, and how invested audience members get, they would rather have an ending that's predictable and mediocre than something that's more risky. Another example is Game of Thrones. It had a very dedicated fan base that was obsessed with everything about it, but then the last season came around, and more specifically a particular moment in an episode, created a major backlash. This was a pivotal moment in which many people gave up on the series. You could argue that the two previous seasons before were showing signs of decline, but this last season cemented it. The big question now is, what do we make of this? I can understand being let down by a series you've loved so much, but I feel that the more people love something, the higher expectations they have for it. And when any of those expectations aren't met, they will be left with disappointment. Even though I thought there were a lot of problems with the last part of Voltron, I never thought it was really bad. Some decisions that were made were a bit odd and things were kind of all over the place, but I still felt it had the spirit of what the show was meant to be. People complained about certain characters not being developed enough, but the overall character development is still greater than so many other Western animated shows. Just look at this.
Am I a hot dog?
A rare genetic mutation
That runs in the family! I'm a hot dog!
Please help me, dear God. Maybe it was Avatar: The Last Airbender that put people's expectations high for Western animation. I'm not sure. But regardless, I still feel that the first half of Voltron holds up really well, and it makes me saddened that no one really talks about this show anymore. What I don't understand is just how easy it is for fans to throw out things they love. If I ever see something in a show I don't care for, I at least try to make sense of it and see the overall picture. But whenever something that doesn't match up to what a fan expects, they forget the fact that the show can't possibly please everyone at every moment. Let's say if you have a child and you love them more than anything in the world, but one day you find out they're on Team Mystic or something. I don't know. You aren't just gonna be like, well, I'm gonna throw this one away. Okay, well maybe that's not redeemable, but well, anyways, but that's beside the point. It saddens me how easy it is for people to dismiss a show entirely if it doesn't meet up to their expectations to the very end. A show like How I Met Your Mother was well revered, but ever since the finale happened, everybody hates it. You're gonna tell me that one episode, or more specifically, the last 5 minutes of one episode, discredits everything before it, so that everything is just meaningless. While I was disappointed too when I watched it, it didn't let me hate everything up until that point. Imagine if George R.R. Martin finally published Winds of Winter, and people weren't satisfied with it. People wouldn't just see that specific book as a failure. Based on what we know, about how fans reacted to the TV series, we know that they would see the entire series of A Song of Ice and Fire as a failure as well. He doesn't want that to be his final legacy. Now you know why he won't get around to finishing his books. When it comes down to it, there are some things writers of a show should keep in mind. People much prefer a mediocre ending that checks off all the boxes to one that is surprising and eventful. Plot twists and big reveals are not only bad because they change the entirety of the show, but also because there won't be enough time to explain everything without it feeling rushed. Personally, I don't mind if a show takes a risk. To me, it's better than something pre-packaged and boring. It really isn't worth my time to watch something that I know how it will end. I hope anyone who sees this video realizes that shows, just like any other kind of media for that matter, can't be everything you want it to be. You have to accept the fact that it can't be perfect and appreciate all the good things it offers you. The fact that people get so upset about how a show ends only proves how good the show really is. Alright, thank you for watching this video essay. Wow, that makes it kind of sound like it's for an English class or something. Goodbye.